Hello everyone, today we're going to be talking about the remote ID bill that just got passed today. So I printed this out, this came in my email today about an hour ago. And so basically the remote ID bill that has been in the news lately, the drone news lately, has finally been passed. And this means that there are some changes to the way we will be flying our drone. So with this new rule that just got passed, you will see three changes. One, the big one, remote ID. The second one will be exceptions for flying over people. So I'm not sure exactly what how that's gonna work yet, but right now we're just focusing on remote ID. And the third one will be more exceptions for flying at night. So the first big part of the email I see is so remote ID will help mitigate the risks associated with expanded drone operations, such as flights over people and night. And both rules are being passed along with this rule because remote ID will help make that safer. Here's a big part. Remote ID applies to all operators of drones that require FAA registration. So that means this drone does not require remote ID because it's under 250 grams. And same with this drone. But some bigger drones like a DJI Spark or Mavic or like a Mavic 2 or like a Phantom or anything bigger than this will require remote ID. Also, from my understanding, if you're flying commercially, you have to register your aircraft no matter what, even if it's below the limit. So this will have to be registered if it's being used commercially. And and if this is being used commercially, you'll also need remote ID for a lighter aircraft like this. So everyone is wondering how they can comply with the new remote ID regulations. The first way is you operate as a standard. I'm reading this directly from the email. Operate a standard remote ID drone that broadcasts information and location information of the drone and the control station. So this means you can comply by using a drone that has remote ID built in, and this will broadcast the position of the drone and the position of the controller, which is you basically. And then number two is to operate a drone with a remote ID broadcast module, which is a separate device attached to the drone, which broadcasts pretty much the same information. So you'll basically attach a device to your aircraft. And then the last way to comply is operate a drone without remote ID that has specific FAA recognized identification areas. That means basically RC field. And yeah, that's not very practical because there's no point of just flying in a field. The point of these drones are so you can fly in cool places and get cool videos and pictures and videos. And then the final part of the rule requires that small drone operators have the remote pilot certificate and identification in their physical possession. So this only applies to commercial operations when operating, ready to present to authorities if needed. And this is also saying that the FAA is going to expand the number of authorities who can request this information. Because before, if a police officer requested your registration or license if you're commercial, you don't have to give it to them. Only FAA agents can request FAA credentials. But it looks like they're expanding it, so you might see in the future police officers asking you for your registration. Okay, so now you're wondering, when does this come into effect? So both rules will be effective 60 days after publication in the Federal Register. But the remote ID rule requires two compliance dates. Drone manufacturers will have 18 months to begin producing drones with remote ID. So that means within 18 months, a drone like this this is under 250 grams, that will require remote ID inbuilt. And then operators will have 1 year to start using remote ID. Basically, you have about a year, maybe a bit more. I'll say a year and 2 months until your aircraft needs to have remote ID. And remember, if your aircraft is under 250 grams, like this is, you don't need remote ID. So there are big changes coming to drone flying, both recreational and commercial. And this it might be a bit hard for people to comply with the remote ID because their current drones will require some sort of transmitter, which might be hard to do. So guys, I hope you found this video informative. If you did, please hit that like button and share this video. I'll see you guys in our video. Bye.